What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're reacting to the 8th episode of Vivy Fluorite I's song. This one's titled Elegy Dedicated with Love, My One and Only Beloved Partner. Now, I completely forgot last time that the reason why we're going to have a partner in the title, and it makes sense, is because Ophelia said she had like a song AI partner that she travelled with as part of it. So it's almost certainly we're going to be referring to that, and maybe that is part of the reasoning why Ophelia is supposedly meant to commit suicide in the original timeline. And that's what Matsumoto's working on and is going to be attempting to prevent, because if an AI commits suicide, that's quite an interesting thought process. Like, what could possibly compel an AI to commit suicide? And it also has implications of, well, what if more start committing suicide? And if they can kill themselves, what's preventing them from killing others as well? And you can start to see where different loopholes and rabbit holes you can go with that, and there'll be a lot of sympathy as well, I think, for AIs if they start taking their own lives in this way as well. But yeah, it's an interesting thought experiment, as a lot of this show is. Like, this show is a very interesting thought experiment when it comes to AI and human emotion, and I really do like the way it's framing that. Like, it is discussing, like, the most recent arc before this was discussing the idea of euthanasia. Yes, it was AIs, but it still brought up the term of euthanasia. So the show is very, very clever with the way it explores certain topics that otherwise you wouldn't normally see. And so I'm very, very thankful for that. But we've had a bit of a time skip, about 40 years apparently, because we are now 61 in terms of our age, and we started the story at 1. And we've had we've had a better idea on what the length of each time skip was up until this point. This one was the one where they didn't explicitly state how long it was, but since we got an age, we know how long roughly it actually was. So we've been completely, well, not completely wiped, but we've been rebooted and altered a bit, hence why our attitude is very different from when we first started, because instead of having the very first level of technology, essentially, that created us, we then had a lot of time, and so when we rebooted, we had a bit of a better understanding, maybe, and had a more advanced form of intelligence available to us. And maybe that accounts for a bit of our change in personality as well going forward. But she starts realizing that, especially with Matsumoto, calling her Vivy and saying different things, like, she's starting to realize, hang about, you know me, and things happened between us, what am I not knowing here? And is getting very, very suspicious about it. But obviously he's not really trying to... He wasn't really trying to tell her about it, and trying to dismiss her initially. But she kind of just confronts him and blackmails him, essentially. And whilst he does start speaking truthfully, she doesn't really believe him either. So, yeah, we also have the suspicious man who looks like that one guy at the very beginning, the first Toak guy that we save, which, if that is genuinely who that is, should not be there. Should not look like that. So either it is a descendant or I don't even know what. Because the only way I can see that being a thing is if it's like a son, grandson to that guy, because he should not be here in this timeline. Unless we're going to start messing with other people are going through time sorts of ideas. I hope we don't do that. Because then we're just getting a bit ridiculous, and we're starting to do the Gekidol thing of compounding multiple ideas on. So I'm hoping they're not going to try and pull a time travel thing on us more than what we've already dealt with time travel. Like, Matsumoto being sent back as code and initializing on a certain date for the sake of saving humanity, okay. But if Toak is also time traveling in order to solve things, then we're just getting a bit ridiculous, you know? So hopefully it's not going that direction, but I'm curious as to how the hell they can be here with this visage. Unless it's an illusion of some description, but I don't know how it could be an illusion in that sense either. But we're going to be preventing Ophelia from committing suicide. Most of these stories up until this point have been like two-parters. So I'm expecting this one to maybe be a two-parter as well. But yeah, this is it's going to be interesting to see why she's committing suicide and how we're going to prevent that and what implications that might have for the future as well. So, we're going to load the episode up here as per usual. These are time-based format reactions here on YouTube. If you want to see the full picture in picture, go to my Patreon down in the description below. £4 a month gets you access to all picture in picture reactions I do on the channel, which is everything from the current seasonal lineup, as well as Patreon request shows such as Symphogear G, Local Horizon Season 2, and World Trigger. We also have movie reactions with Kiki's Delivery Service coming out on Saturday, so May 22nd. So stay tuned for that one if you're a Patreon member, as well as the timer format on YouTube, but picture-in-picture available on Patreon, obviously. Here on YouTube, we have to do timer-based, so bottom left of the screen, you'll see a timer for the episode. I count down 3, 2, 1, play. Then play start episode, I start episode, and we should be in sync. We'll watch this one on Funimation as per usual, since they're the ones who licensed it. We have the Aniplex logo and then the Funimation logo to start, so about 12 seconds of logos, give or take. I'll call them out as I go past, but you can also use screen flash on my face, the mic, or this part of my headset to tell when the scenes are transitioning. So, with all that said, let's get into this week's episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Aniplex. Funimation. Cheers. Here we go. Failure. Also has a very similar likeness to the girl from last time that we dealt with. I forget her name. It's kind of creepy. This is the sound AI partner, I guess. Oh boy. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. So what happens? Because something's got to happen to these two if that's the outcome. Oh boy. Yeah, what on earth causes this outcome? We're on massively divergent history right now. Interesting. They're back to the since we're back to the older OP where they're creating the not so human-like AI. But you see how Ophelia and that other girl are very similar in design? Like, very similar. I assume it's like she's a development on that AI. Because I think they're all part of the sisters lineup, right? So I guess that's why there is a similarity in that regard. Alright. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. But what would prompt such a thing? It has to relate to the sound AI. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, sure. Potentially. Mm. Some things never change. Yep. Mm-hmm. Hmm. How blunt. Was. Shut down 5 years ago, okay. Hmm. 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 Of course. Hmm. So what happens then? Right. Potentially it was staged. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, the fact that he's here is so bizarre. Hmm. Taking issue with the way she phrased that, are we? So it seems to be implied that she didn't jump, she was pushed. That seems to be the implication right now. I still love that dress. I really do. Hmm. Mm. Hmm. Right. Sure about that? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Hmm. Quite possibly. Doesn't look too happy. Hmm. Same look. Of course we do. Yes. Hmm. Sure, okay. Interesting symbols here. There's that guy. What? What? How is he hidden from the cameras? That's creepy. Or is this... This isn't an error in our programming because he's seen her. Oh boy. She remembers. Jesus. Huh? No, okay. No flower. It's all fake footage. Interesting. So where the hell is she? That's why the symbols. Okay, I get it. Never mind. Up on the roof. Ophelia, what are you doing here? Watching. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What? 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 That's crazy. We have an after credit scene, so there's gonna be something here. What the fuck do you mean you're... How? I have no idea where this is going. I mean, it's gonna be a three-parter, but I have no idea where this is going. I have no idea how Toad Guy could even be involved now. I really have no clue. I love it. Love the ED anyway, but still. I... I have no idea. No idea where this is going. How can you be Antonio? Absolutely no idea. Alright, after credits, what you got for me? Oh? He's an AI by the looks of things. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Goodbye, teacher. Holy shit. So that's part of your motivations, I guess. These bindings are pretty futuristic. How are you here? Anyway. Where? Where is this going? Where is this story going? Um... So, cameras were hacked. Assumably by the guy. I'm... Is it just a coincidence that he looks the same? Like, is it just a coincidence? I feel like it shouldn't be, but how the hell is he here? Because he's from way in the past. Like, he was the first story. So he'd have to be he'd have to be in his 80s. It's just not possible. So who the hell are you, and how are you here? How are you here? But was that him with the teacher bits? Because that looks like him, right? Like there and then... I think it is. Wake up, Vivy. Oh, let's see. How are you here? How are you here? I really want to know how the hell you're even here. I'm so lost. I'm so lost on this storyline right now. I have no idea what direction they're taking this. Why did Antonio shut down? Why is Antonio taking over Ophelia in this instance? Why did he take over her body? What to what end? Why? Why? Why would you? There's so much to question on this storyline. There's so much, and I love it. When did Antonio take over Ophelia? Was that at the time that he shut down? Like, upon shutdown, he transferred over to Ophelia for some reason? And took her over? But why? Why go through all this? And if that happened in the original timeline as well, then why go through with suicide as Antonio? Like, I figured they might go for a direction of... Well, with the missions, what happens once... Like, I assume the missions are intentionally worded to the point where it's like they can never truly finish, right? Because if you program a mission that has an end point, what do they do after their mission's finished? Like, make everyone happy with your singing. Obviously, to make everyone happy, you would need to make everyone who exists happy, and that's something that is always going to be changing because more people are born, more people die. It's like there's constantly a cycle of people. So as long as you can physically keep running, which who knows how long that actually is, then they always have a purpose to their mission. So I guess that's the intentional wording of that one, to make it so that you can never truly finish it. But why is Antonio going through with this? I don't get it. And how the hell is this guy here? It makes no sense. Makes no sense. God, I love this show. I love this show for being the way it is, in having these grander mysteries. Like, yes, they're episodic and self-contained for the most part, but they all seem to have such weird directions that they go in. And there's no real way of knowing what direction they go in. Like, I figured the partner would be involved. When they said the partner was dead 5 years ago, I was like, oh, okay, so maybe it isn't to do with the partner. Maybe it is the Toite guy who's actually causing the suicide. But then it's like, no, it might not be even that. But what does the teacher bit have to do with it? Because if we are to assume that that actually was him in the flashback as well, and then has the teacher die on him like that? Still, what prompts his actions? I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I want to theory craft some more about where I think this might be going, but I've got nothing. I really have nothing on this storyline. I don't know where any of it could possibly lead. I don't know why Antonio would even bother to take over. I have no idea how this guy's even here. Hugo was his name, right? I have no idea how he's here. I have no idea why they included the teacher bit there. Like, what does that influence? Like, no idea. Are they trying to draw a parallel between the loss of the teacher and the loss of Antonio to Ophelia in a weird way? I don't even know. And that's all I've got, really. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Not as much to talk about as I wanted to, but hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, leave a like if you did, as well as your comments where you think the story could possibly be going. Don't forget to subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the Spring 2021 alignment you can find here on the channel. Thank you for watching. Till next time. See you guys later.